Federal lawmakers elected on the platform of the All Progressives Congress from Benue State have carpeted Governor Hyacinth Alia for what they consider anti-party activities, high-handedness, corrupt tendencies, and running a one-man show. The Benue State caucus in the National Assembly stated the observation during a media briefing. The lawmakers called on President Bola Tinubu to intervene and call the governor to order over the alleged dictatorial conduct and poor leadership. Now to speak on the political impasse in Benue State, APC chieftain in the state, Daniel Onje, joins me on the program. Thank you for joining us at this time. Well, there are concerns that this lingering feud in your party, the APC in Benue State, is, lasting for really long, and it might just impact your party negatively. What really are the issues in contention?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Mr. Onje. If you can hear me, I'm asking about what the issues really are in Benue State that's causing this crisis to linger.
Well, as known to all, every crisis has its immediate and remote cause or causes. What you just read out about the conduct of the Benue APC caucus at the National Assembly is a precipitation from the root cause of this whole issue. Nigerians will recall some few weeks back that a senator who benefited from the local government caretaker committee system, even recently under the administration of Governor Samuel Otom, while the same senator was a senator in the 9th Assembly. He never saw anything wrong in the caretaker administration, but embarked on a popularity-seeking venture by misleading the National Assembly into passing resolution asking the executive arm of government to do what is not within their powers to do. That is to withhold local government funds, an issue that has been jettisoned into the dustbin of history by virtue of the Supreme Court pronouncement on the twin related issues emanating from Lagos, which was the Attorney General of Lagos versus the Attorney General of the Federation, and also that of Abia State. A decision was taken in the Abia case in 2002, I think about 28th day of March, by a 7-man panel led by Justice Mohammed Uwais. And it stated very clearly the limitation of the National Assembly in legislating on issues that borders on local government administration and the management of its funds. Mr. President, who is a seasoned politician, seasoned administrator, and a seasoned public servant, knows too well he lacks the power to carry out the resolutions of the National Assembly in this regard. So he will not even attempt to play to the gallery, because it was under his administration that funds were stopped for local government, and it was at his administration that initiated the process to have a redress of the situation. And finally, the Supreme Court of the land compelled the federal government to pay the backlog of monies that had been seized from the Lagos State government and the people of Lagos State. So he will not do that. That that motion for me, that Senator Abamoro moved, was partisan, self-serving, and directionless.
I hear you, Mr. Onje.
It was an attempt to drag this entire Senate into a state of disrepute, and we were wondering why some senators from Benue, who knew too well the situation on ground, why the governor had to suspend the elected local government officials but not sack, as was presented in his bill. They kept mute all through in the Senate, and we're wondering how they could watch an opposition party senator attempt to discredit an APC governor unwarrantedly in the Senate. So we kept observing the situation until the real masquerades or the faces behind the masquerade in the Abamoru's motion were unveiled through the press conference that was held by the Benue National Assembly caucus.
Well, Mr. Onje, if you can hear me, Mr. Onje, in the midst of all of this, the question is what your party is doing to resolve this crisis, because it's believed that it might just have some kind of negative impact on you. You have made reference to the suspension of the lawmakers, of the council chairman, rather, in Benue State over what the governor called, the need to investigate them and all of that. But on that hand, how far has investigation gone? Have you heard anything about that?
Well, I was just stating all of this to give you a background to it, now that we have an idea as to what the problem really is. Starting from the press conference, which is the reason why I'm here today, to shed light, my position here basically, I'm not on any side of the divide on this issue, but I'm on the side of justice. And my presence here is to tell Nigerians what the justice in the situation of Benue State deserves. That is why I'm here. So, against the background of all that I've told you, the lawmakers made all kinds of spurious allegations against the governor. For me, those allegations were baseless because they lack substance. All they have complained, or they complained in the press conference they held, were personal issues to me, ranging from the governor not picking their calls, not carrying them along, and not recognizing them in the process of decision-making in the state. And for those reasons, they quickly and hurriedly jumped to the conclusion that the governor had failed and he has not achieved. For me, that is bad politics. We all came out to support the candidature of Reverend Father Hyacinth Alia because of our belief in his capacity to redeem the situation in Benue State. We can't suddenly, in a somersault, begin to reprobate and approbate. We all campaigned in our localities and we spoke highly of the reverend gentleman because we believe so in him. And we can't begin to discredit him because we felt our personal interests have not been protected. I know that everyone, like me, I contested for Senate for Benue South, so I'm in position to at least to speak for my people in APC. I know that as politicians, we all express our interests or our preferred candidates for one appointment or the other. Unfortunately, the governor cannot satisfy just everybody at the same time. If you are satisfied these lawmakers, the interests of these lawmakers who held this press conference, several other people will have been dissatisfied at the same time. So these positions, unfortunately, are made for just one occupant, not for more than one occupant. We need to learn to be patient with the political system and the process. For us, it is not a marathon. Sorry, it is not a sprint, it's a marathon. We need to keep experimenting until we get to near a perfect situation. So,
I hear you, but then, Mr. Onje, if you look at it from the angle, if you look at it from the point of view that Governor Hyacinth Alia was actually elected on the platform of the APC, bearing the ticket of the party, don't you think that, when there are voices from the party, then he should probably, listen and then, see how there could be a balance?
Well, talking about listening to the party and bringing about a balance, the subject of the entire issues that generated this impasse is centered around the local government caretaker appointment. Before the appointments were made, the party under the state leadership called for an expanded state caucus meeting. And the sole or the subject of discussion at the meeting was the appointment of caretaker committee to the local government council. The governor magnanimously gave free hands to the party by directing that the party presents 3 names each for every position in the council. And the party broke down into local governments area to take the decision and make submissions of these names immediately. And I can assure you that over 95% of the names that were submitted were the least Governor Alia considered for the appointment, leaving, say, the remaining 5% to his discretion. You see, you don't begin to harass a farmer over eating the entire yams in his farm, even though he has sufficiently have enough to give out. It is his prerogative, his choice to give out. You don't begin to blame him because he finished the yam in his farm. But
let's now look at some of the allegations that have been leveled against Governor Alia. If you can hear me, Mr. Onje. They are ranging from anti-party activities to high-handedness, corrupt tendencies, and of running a one-man show. Is there any iota of truth in these allegations?
These allegations, like I stated from the beginning, are unfounded, just like I was also drawing an analogy of a farmer and a yam. In this case, Governor Alia gave the opportunity to the party to produce virtually all the council members, the caretaker committee members, by virtue of the directive he gave, which was carried out. The few names where there will have been changes and they're accusing him of anti-party. Well, I've been in the APC from time immemorial, from AC to ACN. It kept metamorphosing until I am in APC today. I've never left, and also been an advocate of, giving opportunity to those who have, really labored for the party to serve. So I wouldn't support the appointment of people from other political parties like the PDP, Labour Party, in the state and at federal level. But you see, sometimes it is only candidates who were involved in elections and eventually won the elections that know exactly what agreements they had with certain persons who may have been in other political parties that will have provided support for them to win their localities or immediate environment. A very good example is the Rivers State, where Wike contributed a whole lot to the victory of President Tinubu in Rivers State. And in such extreme situations, it's at the discretion of the leadership to consider what it chooses to consider for political expedient. And that is why Wike of the PDP stock is a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria today under an APC government. And nobody raised eyebrow because it's clear the role that Wike played. So we don't know in what way some persons will have, provided support for Governor Hyacinth Alia. I haven't really come across situations where he appointed people from other party. I've had public outcry, and in a particular case in Benue South, I was told about a local government, which is the Ado local government area, that the person who was produced as the chairman there is of the PDP extraction. And
all right then,
in
Mr. Onje, we can go on and on really about what the issues are, about what the challenges are, but it's very critical also to talk about solutions. So what do you consider as political solution to the impasse, or do you think it should be a legal battle?
Well, I think the solution to this, because I've actually sued for peace, the solution to this is for the National Assembly caucus members to sheath their sword and come back to the table and then, iron out these issues with the governor. This is more or less like a family affairs, And needless to go on national television to wash our dirty linen outside. More so, the lawmakers themselves mentioned when they were asked in the interview, when they were asked questions, they mentioned that they approached the leader of the party that has kept the party together from time immemorial, which is the current SGF, the former governor of the state, Senator Senator George Akume. They said they have reported and raised these issues before him severally, and he has admonished them to exercise patience with the governor, assuring them that with time things will change. And you also agree with me, a man who has been in the service of God for over 32 years, who has interacted and related with people, will find it very difficult to differentiate who a PDP or APC is in terms of governance. All Governor Hyacinth Alia wants to do is to carry every Benue indigene along in the process of advancing the socio-economic and political developments of the state. So
we'll have to end the conversation there, Mr. Onje. I know that Governor Alia was actually, earlier today in Lagos to see the president. We never can tell if anything popped up regarding the situation in his state in that interaction. Thank you very much. Daniel Onje is an APC
I don't think the situation has gotten to that point of involving Mr. President. I don't think.
All right. That's your position. Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us.